Well, to no one's surprise, I'm sure, here is yet another junk PC from the thrift store that cost me entirely way too much money. But again, this is intriguing because of what it actually happens to be. I'm sure it doesn't work. At the end of the day, I mean, let's face it. It's a decent looking case, at least if you look at it. It's made out of tinfoil. Another one of these really crappy cases. Digital multimedia power system. Yeah, I don't think so. It's got this really, like, odd looking thing here. I don't know what this is. Gigabyte technology. Wonder if that was for a video card that this would have had in it originally that it doesn't have anymore. Pentium 4 though, so you know that it's high power. What's it got for front panel? Pretty typical USB and audio. Nothing special there. I'm sure there are individual pins though, which is really irritating. You can tell just by looking at it that it's one of these cheapo, like, designs. I don't know what this was all about. Like, that was kind of stupid, so obviously that's original. This would have had to have had a video card, because it does not have onboard video. So unfortunately that's missing, so I'm going to have to find something for that. I do have some video cards kicking around, so it's not like it's that big of a deal. In fact, I have a box of them sitting around here somewhere. Otherwise, it's pretty typical. Although, interestingly enough, it's got surround audio. For something this old, I'm surprised to see that. And the 4 USB and Ethernet, as usual. You can tell this is an AsRock board before you even see the board, just by the arrangement of the PS2 ports there. That was one of their staples. Clearly this had a video card in it at some point, which I already mentioned, but clearly this also must have had more cards, because all those slot covers are missing. So I'm feeling kind of loud for my $14.99, you know? But, I could have just chose not to buy it. That would have been easy. And normally I wouldn't. I wouldn't even bother with something like this, because it's just too old. And not useful. It falls into the category of too old to be useful and too new to be vintage. But what really drew my eye to it was this. Take a look at that. Yes, that's AGP and PCI Express on the same board. I don't think I've ever seen that before. And of course you got 4 PCI, as usual. But the other interesting thing, look at this. DDR400 and DDR2 667. And if you look at those, you can see that yes, this is also dual memory. Now, like all other systems that support this, it's important to note that you can't use both types of memory at the same time, which really does kind of limit your options for something like this. In fact, I think I could probably put more... No, I definitely could put more DDR2, but really this is going to see 4 gigs and nothing more. But then again, it's a Pentium 4. Back then they weren't really aiming for more than about 4 gigabytes anyway. Everything but the floppy is disconnected. I don't know why. That's an ominous sign. There's only one memory module in here, and I can't really read it, so I don't know what it is. Looks like 2G, so that's a 2 gigabyte memory module. So it probably had 4 gigs in it at one point, and I've been thieved once again. But I think what we're going to do is I'm going to take this thing over to my testing area. You can see there, a very nice Anatech power supply. Not so much, but it's there, I guess. It's better than a Best Tech, I suppose. I'll take this over, and I'm going to power it up, and I'm going to see what this piece of crap happens to do, if it does anything at all. Okay, got a random crappy video card. Oh, it didn't go bang. Where's the switch? Heard it click. Oh, it works. Maybe. Oh, it does. Now it's trying to boot to a floppy. Because I actually didn't even realize, but there's a floppy in that drive. Starting Windows 98, apparently. That's weird. So, okay, it does actually work. So that's cool. It's a PCIe video card. I don't remember what it is, although it probably says right on it what it is. BIOS version, Hynix memory, cooling system, fan sync. Yeah, that's helpful. What the hell is this card? It's an NVIDIA card, which is why I can't tell what it is. It would support SLI, which is kind of weird for such a cheap, crappy card, but whatever. I did get 2 IDE ribbons. The other one is sitting over there. But yeah, that works. Amazing. That is amazing. I don't know why it's got a Windows 98 boot floppy in it, and I don't know why the thrift store left that in there. They probably just were like, okay, we'll just give this to you as is. Somebody pulled the hard drive. They had an Inspiron 530 there that was actually cheaper than this, that had no memory in it, but it did have a hard drive, and if it weren't such a busy store, I might have given some thought to putting the drive in here, the hard drive, but honestly, that's not really worth getting kicked out of a store for and put on the list, so what do I care? Now, I want to get into setup, and I have no idea what key gets into setup. Obviously not the one I'm pressing. Could be anything, really. It's probably F2, right? Yeah, there we go. F2. So what do we got here? Oh, we got a battery that's good. I don't know how. Pentium 4, 3.2. So, not that great. DDR2 533, 2 gigs, single channel. So it'll probably get another 2 gigabyte module. But that right there almost seems to imply that you could use them both at the same time, but my understanding is that you can't on most of these. I know that on the older ones with the different types of SIMs, the 30-pin and the 72, you couldn't populate both. Do some overclocking if we really wanted to, but I'm not going to do that. CPU temperature might be a little high, but it's okay, I suppose. This board actually would take a couple of Pentium D chips, and that might be hilarious to some people because, you know, how much the Pentium D is such a pile of crap and how much better the Core 2 Duo is, but I know it will not take Core 2 Duos. Pentium D was as good as it got, and giving it a dual-core chip is certainly better in this multi-core faceted world. So, at the end of the day, that's probably what it will get. It'll get a Pentium D and probably 4 gigs of RAM. And I might just leave that video card in there because there's nothing wrong with it, and that card's not going to do anything else anyway. So, it's awfully tempting to put an AGP card in there, but it's not AGP Pro, so I don't really care. I'd rather not waste an AGP card on this, because it's not like I don't have a million of them, but I just don't really think that something this new is worth wasting that. I might replace that power supply too. I haven't decided yet whether I will do that. But I have to put a hard drive in here, and I'm thinking it's going to get a SATA drive, just because the SATA cable is sitting down here in plain view. I might as well plug in the optical drives, and then get a SATA hard drive in here, and put a screw, maybe put some slot covers in that, if I can find some sitting around. I know I've got like several bags of them, but I don't know where any of them are right now. They're probably all out in storage, go figure. Try to clean things up and I need them. I'm not going back over there again today. I've already been over there twice. I thought I had made a big boo-boo by putting the side cover back on, but you can still see inside here, so get a closer look at this board. You can see there that this is actually an AsRock 775Dual-880Pro, based on the VIA chipset, VIA PT880Pro. Go figure, right? So, like I said, this board will not support any Core 2 silicon, or any core silicon. The highest it'll go is a Pentium D. So that's probably what it will get at some point. But for now, I believe that it is functional. I will also need to install some more memory because I don't have any DDR2 laying around. The only memory I've got laying around here is DDR3, and I've got oodles and gobs of DDR3. It's funny, years ago that I would have to pine to find it, but now it's plentiful. I guess it's because DDR4 is the new thing, although DDR5 is the new thing now, but it hasn't really caught on like DDR4 did. So, anyway, I've plugged in all the IDE ribbons, got a 20 gigabyte hard drive. It's not serial ATA, but again, it's kicking around. It's something to do. I don't really feel like giving this thing a large drive anyway. I hope it works. I also hooked up the side panel fan, so that's cool. Now I gotta get this thing back into place. I'll fire it up. I don't think it's gonna do anything, because I think that hard drive came out of a Mac, but somebody's probably going to point out this memory. All of it's a downgrade except for this, which I tried, and it doesn't even see it. So, I don't know if there's something wrong with that module, or if the computer just doesn't take it. Now, the other thing about this is I noticed that the front panel power LED was not functional. So I fixed that. I'm going to go ahead and take this floppy out of the drive here. Startup 98. Cool. I'm surprised that's a fluid bearing. Oh, no, it's not. I thought it was. I'm going to set up here. And we'll just see what's going on. Not much has changed. In fact, nothing really has changed. The only thing that has changed on this is not on this page. You can't see it right here. So, yeah, fan is running. It's an exhaust fan. I guess they chose to put it there instead of at the back of the case. I don't know. Anyway. Oh, that's for overclock if I wanted to, which I really don't. I mean, I might, but probably not. I think really the only upgrades this is going to get are, yeah, the only upgrades this is going to get are a Pentium D and some new memory. So, there's some memory overclocking stuff, a CPI. Power state. I can't. Usually I set that to last state, but I guess it doesn't remember. It doesn't allow that. PCI devices. Usually that's for Wacom LAN. I'll ignore it for now. Onboard IDE enabled. SATA operation mode. I'm going to set it to non-RAID for what little good it will do. Hard disk. Yep, 20 gigs. Smart supported. Smart is disabled. We're going to set that to enabled. I know it's probably of very little use, but any warning you can get is better than nothing. 2 CD-ROMs. They're actually DVD-ROMs. That is a Hitachi LG DVD-RW drive. And that is another Hitachi LG DVD-RW. Just slightly different. So, those are stock, floppy, connected, whatever. Hardware monitor still looks okay. Save and exit. I wish this thing had a adjustable delay post time adjustment. Oh, Windows NT Workstation 4. I don't know what this came out of, but clearly it's old. 20 gigs with NT4. Wow. This isn't going to boot, almost certainly. I'll be very surprised. NT4 Service Pack 6. I am probably kinky enough that I'd run NT4 on something like this. I hear the hard drive doing stuff. No way it's going to actually try and boot this. Oh, it just stopped. No. It's keeping going. Hard drive LED on the front there. Stupid mosquito. Trying to ruin my video. What was this? Do not attempt to log on unless you are an authorized user. Oh no. Well, it came from work, I can tell you that. What domains do we have on this? Oh wow. I think he retired in the 90s. The old domain as well. That hasn't been in operation since like 2006 or 7. So, yeah, pretty old. That still doesn't really tell me. I mean, it does. It's right there. That tells me what PC it came out of, but I don't know why that's still kicking around. It's kind of odd. But, I'm not going to keep this anyway, and I'm not going to try and log in. Actually, you know what? I probably can. Give me just a moment. See if I actually know the password to this. Or if that is the password. Nope, I tried. So, that's not going to work. I don't really care. So, we are just going to power that off and close the video with that. So, thank you for watching, and if you've got any comments, feel free to leave them below. Still doing something. At least it was, now it's not. Oh, here it goes.